The United States of Africa. All African peoples and countries must unite and rally around Presidents Assimi Goïta of Mali, Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso and Abdourahmane Chiani of Niger to form the United States of Africa. They must defend and protect Africa's sovereignty. President Assimi Goïta of Mali. Assimi Goïta, the President of Mali, grandson of black ancestors, guardian of African customs and traditions, protector of the continent of which the name is Africa. Assimi Goïta the Pharaoh, overall leader of African peoples and countries, Lion of Africa, liberator of colonized peoples and countries. Assimi Goïta, the man who has brought colonization and occupation of Africa, by imperial powers, to an end. Assimi Goïta, the father of all African peoples and countries, fearless warrior. Africa is praising President Assimi Goïta of Mali because he has reduced imperial terrorism to nothingness and thus brought back security, as well as a peaceful life, to African peoples and the entire continent of Africa. Assimi Goïta the legend, guardian of African customs and traditions, keeper of African customary laws, defender of Africa's ethnic languages, Assimi Goïta has brought freedom to Africa. The ancestors. Nothing is possible without the ancestors. The ancestors guide, teach and give prosperity to Africans and Africa. The ancestors defend and protect Africa's sovereignty. Invisible they may seem to be, nevertheless it is a fact that the ancestors are present all the time. The ancestors are thunder, they are lightning, they are rain, they are wind, they are forest, they are rivers, lakes, oceans etc. The ancestors are all that and everything else. They are everywhere at the same time. Affirmatively, the ancestors were there before, are here today and will always be present in the future. Omnipresent they are. They are the immortals of whom, in the ancient times, Homer the Greek writer wrote when he referred to Africa as land of the gods. Indeed, the ancestors must always be honored. For, definitely, they are the gods, the immortals. So, thenceforth, African peoples and countries must unite and preserve Africa's ancient knowledge. They must preserve African customs and traditions. They must preserve African customary laws. They must preserve all African ethnic languages. For, indeed, it is within ethnic languages that the ancestors preserved ancient knowledge. President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso. Traoré the gladiator, Ibrahim Traoré the wrestler, son of black people, son of Africa, Africa land of the gods, the immortals. The name. Africa is the name of the biggest continent on planet Earth. In fact, Africa is a distortion of the Luo word Abirio. Abirio means 7. Africa. Abirio. Abirio. 7, 7. Why was that continent given the name Abirio? According to Luo ancestors, planet Earth is only one of the many newly formed planets which are found in our solar system. Luo mythology enables us to know that, while mankind were on their planet which is somewhere in a faraway solar system, some of them decided to go and inhabit a new planet. A green planet which, like many others, they were able to see through powerful telescopes, greatly interested them. To that green planet they gave the name Atho. That is what is today called Earth. What does Atho mean? Atho is a Luo word. It means a living thing, perishable. Obviously, in our solar system, only planet Earth is a living thing. Indeed, planet Earth is a living organism and human beings etc. are only miniatures of planet Earth. It has got a nucleus called magma. It has got water etc. It is alive and intelligent. That is why the ancestors called it Atho, Earth. Earth. Atho. Atho. I am perishable. I am a living thing. Tho, to die, to perish, dies, die. Tho, death. Notice, all the names of planets etc. are in Doluo, the language of the Luo, and were given by black ancestors. Those ancestors were Luo. That is a fact which African peoples must preserve. While on their planet which is in a faraway solar system, the ancestors decided to visit newly formed planets. Among millions and billions or trillions of other such planets they saw planet Earth. It was fresh, uninhabited and, therefore, could be made to become an ideal holiday resort for mankind. Thus, originally, mankind did not have the intention to settle on planet Earth. That lack of interest was coming from the fact that the planet on which mankind was living at that time was thousands of times the size of planet Earth. It was even greener than planet Earth and contained immeasurable amounts of precious natural resources. Therefore, mankind's interest in visiting planet Earth was simply to transform it into a holiday resort. One of the many tiny planets in space where, later, mankind would be coming to spend their holidays. Through telescopes, mankind observed and concluded that, somewhere in space, there was a small planet which was very green. On it was an immense continent which was shaped like the number 7, 7. So, they named it Iberio. Besides, it ought to be mentioned, for the sake of knowledge and conservation of Africa's history and mythology, that the people who are mentioned above were black. They were known as Luo. In fact, the Luo are a black people of ancient Egypt. Their language is Doluo. Doluo is the language in which hieroglyphics which are on walls of ancient monuments in Egypt, as well as on many parchments, were written by the Luo. Moreover, Obama, the father of Barack Obama, the former president of America, was Luo. I am Luo. I speak and write Doluo excellently. The connection. What is the connection between Ibrahim Traoré and the arrival of black ancestors on planet Earth? Here is the answer. According to African cosmogony and cosmology, President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso is considered to be a reincarnation of black ancestors. Certainly, the name Ibrahim is, in reality, the Luo word Iberio, which has been written in a different way. Indeed, Ibrahim or Abraham are both distortions of the Luo word Iberio. Therefore, it must be proclaimed that President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso is Africa itself. As mentioned above, Ibrahim or Abraham is a distortion of the Luo word Iberio. Of course, it is the name which black ancestors gave to the biggest continent on planet Earth long before they came to live on it. Africa. Iberio, which is the Luo word for the number 7. A number which is shaped like the black continent called Africa, Iberio. Africa, the homeland of black ancestors. Ibrahim Traoré, the Pharaoh, son of Africa, liberator of enslaved peoples and countries. Of him the ancestors said, "A liberator shall be born to the African continent and he shall bring back freedom. He shall liberate Africa from imperialism and colonialism. He shall defend and protect Africa's sovereignty." Hippopotamus. Ibrahim Traoré, the hippopotamus. In Africa, a hippopotamus is an animal which is immensely venerated. It lives inside lakes and rivers and, at times, goes out on land to graze. Inside water, a hippopotamus watches over those of its kind. In case any invader approaches its spaces, the hippopotamus fights. A ferocious fight. With its heavy weight, the hippopotamus crushes the enemy. Then, with its wide, very strong jaws, big and sharp teeth, the hippopotamus tears down its adversary to pieces. Who on planet Earth does not know that, just like an elephant, a hippopotamus is a herbivorous animal? It is said that herbivorous animals live for more than 800 years. Tortoises are also herbivorous and, according to African ancestors, live for almost 1,000 years. Contrarily, carnivorous animals do not live for long. According to African ancestors, mankind never used to eat meat. Consumption of meat, by mankind, started only a few thousands of years ago. That is what African ancestors used to affirm. Moreover, they asserted that the genetic transfer of animal genes occurs through the consumption of animal flesh, butter, or milk. Then cell mutations take place in mankind. In other words, the consumption of meat and other animal products causes obesity, cancer, Alzheimer, dementia etc. in mankind and reduces lifespan. That is what African ancestors used to say. Always, a hippopotamus is very concerned about the security and well-being of its clan. Therefore, It constantly and very keenly ensures that, at all times, there is plenty of food and other necessities for other hippopotamus. In the Luo world, it is said that a hippopotamus is a reincarnation of the ancestors. Consequently, its flesh cannot be eaten. In fact, hippopotamus live in groups which are composed of a male, its many wives and many children. The father gives security to its family and other members of the clan. If it happens that another male approaches one of its wives or becomes a security threat to any of its little ones, a hippopotamus will not hesitate to fight and completely destroy that enemy. In this regard, Luo ancestors said that if ever it happened that Africa was invaded, and/or African peoples were subjugated by imperialists, then there was no doubt that the ancestors would, in such a dire situation, reincarnate. Exactly, the ancestors would resurrect. Definitely, the ancestors would come back, to save African peoples, as well as liberate Africa, from imperialism and colonialism. Ibrahim Traoré is a reincarnation of African ancestors. Ibrahim Traoré, the grandson of African ancestors, is a reincarnation of the ancestors. He is a hippopotamus. He has liberated Africa and is now transforming that continent from an impoverished world to a prosperous one. He is doing so by industrializing Burkina Faso. Ibrahim Traoré is changing Africa by creating an African economy. An economy which is independent from imperial and colonial powers. Centuries of slave trade, colonialism and religious psychological manipulation have, finally, come to an end. Did the Roman Empire not last thousands of years and finally crumble? Of course it did so. Therefore, African peoples must know that, today, that is exactly what is also happening to the Zionist one-world government dictatorship. It is a fact that, finally, that satanical unipolar world has reached its end. Henceforth, Africa must not look back. Imperialists and colonizers may think that they can cheat Africa into accepting to enter into new deals with them. Obviously, they believe that they can still use deception to enslave and, indeed, recolonize African peoples and countries. Perhaps, they do not notice that, on the contrary, their deception is only turning against them, and destroying them as well as their satanical empire. Imperialism is Zionism. Zionism is Freemasonry. Freemasonry is slave trade and slavery. Therefore, Africa must become fully aware of the fact that a deal with imperialists is an acceptance to be enslaved again by imperialists. An approval to be colonized again by imperialists. Next, African peoples and countries must remember that when the Roman Empire fell, all other countries walked away from it and have never looked back. President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso has proved to the world that Africans are capable of managing the affairs of their own continent. President Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso has changed the world. He has shown that black people are capable of managing the affairs of their own ancestral homeland, which, of course, is none other than Africa. African peoples do not want imperialists to recolonize Africa. Imperialism is Zionism. Zionism is slave trade and slavery. Imperialism is the one world government dictatorship. Imperialists want to recolonize Africa. However, African peoples and countries shall defend and protect Africa's sovereignty. Africa, the land of pyramids. Africa, the land of mathematics. Africa, the land of hieroglyphics. Land of ancient advanced sciences. Africa, the land of unfathomable ancient knowledge. President Abdurrahman Chiani of Niger. According to Doluo, as well as Luo cosmology and cosmogony, Tcani signifies that the above-mentioned President of the Republic is the sun. Equally, Tchani is also written Chieng. Indeed, Chieng is a Luo word which means the sun. Therefore, consequently, President Abdurrahman Chiani is also called Gor because Gor is another name with which the Luo call the sun. What does the word Gor mean? Gor means an extremely hot and incessant combustion. The sun. Thus, in the Luo cosmology and cosmogony, the sun has got very many names, and the Luo profusely praise the sun with all those names. Names which reveal many wonderful aspects of the sun. Definitely, names which tell us about the magnitudinous capabilities of that extremely mighty energy, a very powerful combustion which, in Doluo, is called Chieng. Chiang, the giver of life on planet Earth. Chiang, without which there would be no oxygen on planet Earth. No life. No plants, mankind, animals, insects, birds, reptiles, or any other life forms. Chiani. Chiang. Chiang, the sun. Gor, the sun. Gor, an extremely hot and incessant combustion. In the Luo world, a person's name is never chosen by mankind. Of course, that is because a person's name is part of the map of the universe. On reading that map, you immediately know the name of every person. For example, the position of the sun in the sky at a time when a person is born tells his name. Also, if a person is born during a rainy season or one of drought, his name is automatically known to all. Thus, it is said that the entire universe works together and is like an enormous computer. That collaborative effort is excellent and eternal. President Abdurrahman Chiani is the sun. There is no doubt that the sun is an extremely hot energy which gives light. The sun is electricity. All those facts can be read from the name Tsani. The sun. Energy. Certainly, in a war, no human being can manage to defeat the sun. Only idiots would dare to provoke the sun to a duel. Its calm attitude or peaceful character should never be mistaken for a weakness. For there is no doubt that, on planet Earth, the sun is the giver of life, food, oxygen, etc. Without the sun there would be nothing on planet Earth. President Abdurrahman Chiani, the sun has changed the world. Together with Presidents Assimi Goïta of Mali and Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, he has liberated Africa from imperialism and colonialism. Africa is very proud of those three sons of Africa. They have brought back freedom to Africa. They have brought back confidence to all black people.